So good to have you join us today. Hello and welcome to Business Daily. I'm Lee Ji-yoon. We have a lot lined up for you today, so let's get started with today's highlights. The Ulsan Creative Economy Innovation Center stands at the helm of creating smart ships that can even sail without a captain. We take you inside the world of virtual reality technology and what makes it so promising for Korea in the years to come. Back in July, the Ulsan Creative Economy Innovation Center opened its doors with high hopes of taking Korea's shipbuilding industry to the next level. And now, 2 months later, our Lee Ju-young gets a glimpse of what kind of progress it has made.
This is a so-called smart ship built by the world's largest shipbuilder, Hyundai Heavy Industries. The company has worked together with small and mid-sized companies at the Ulsan Creative Economy Innovation Center to design a network of sensors and analytics software that can send real-time navigation guidance and vessel diagnosis remotely from sea to control towers on land.
Having easy access to information is crucial when developing new devices. But since we have this access, I believe many small and mid-sized firms will be able to develop state-of-the-art equipment.
Another technology that Hyundai has been developing at the center is driverless sailing software for smart vessels.
Our goal is to develop a collision avoidance system and find ways to run ships economically using data from the ship's engine or navigation system.
At the Ulsan Creative Economy Innovation Center, Hyundai Heavy Industries aims to boost its technological competitiveness and help the city develop into a mecca for eco-friendly and automated ships. The shipbuilder has been working along with software developing startups to deliver 80 smart ships abroad as of now, with 120 more scheduled to be exported in the near future. The Ulsan Center itself aims to localize production of some 165 key ship parts by 2018, which experts predict can potentially save Korean shipbuilders an annual average of $1.8 billion spent on importing. Lee Ju-young, Business Daily.
Fruit grown here in Korea has reached the Chinese market for the first time after years of negotiations between the two countries. Our Won Ji-yeon tells us more.
At this grape sorting facility in Sangju, Gyeongsang-buk-do Province, only the ripest are put into boxes. But the inspection doesn't stop there. Those grapes are examined again to make sure they don't contain any parasites before entering China.
It's a great news for Korean farmers to see domestic grapes get exported to China for the first time. We hope to see the exports grow and help out our farmers.
The first batch of Korean grape exports to China totaled nearly 10.5 tons, worth more than $41,000. Until now, it was impossible to export fresh fruit to China because of its strict quarantine measures on plant exports. After 6 years of tough negotiations between quarantine authorities from both countries, China has finally opened its doors to Korean fruit.
We began our bilateral negotiations with China back in May 2009. It took a long time, but this year we have finally reached an agreement on sending Korean fruit exports to China.
The Korean government hopes to reach more quarantine deals with China so it could export other agricultural products from Korea, like strawberries, rice, and bell peppers. Won Ji-hyun, Business Daily.
With rising interest in healthy eating, more consumers are buying their farm products fresh through local farmers markets. In fact, more households are opting to spend at these outlets than go to mega retailers, and it has become quite the win-win deal for both producers and consumers. Our Park Se-young has the story.
At this local food market, farmers sell their fresh produce. There has been a sharp rise in sales recently, with more people looking to buy fresher and cheaper farm products.
Selling goods directly provides us with a stable income, and I can take pride in providing consumers with food that is safe.
I come to farmers markets more often than supermarkets because I can trust the producers and the products are cheaper.
According to research by Korea's Rural Development Administration, the ratio of consumers shopping at farmers' markets has been on the rise. Figures showed in 2011, out of 1,000 households, 13.9% bought their fruit at large supermarkets, but last year that dropped by over a percentage point to 12.8%. Meanwhile, those buying fruit at farmers' markets jumped from 9.3% to 16.3% in the same period, up 7 percentage points. With more people choosing to shop at farmers' markets, producers are able to cut back on room for retail markups, contributing to a 35% rise in income. In return, consumers are able to buy fresh farm products for about 12% cheaper than prices at large retailers. The Rural Development Administration expects the number of direct distribution outlets to continue to grow on the back of falling distribution costs in the future. Park Se-young, Business Daily.
Now, global milk prices have hit the lowest in 6 years, and the slowing global economy is posing even greater threats to Korea's exports of milk. So, dairy businesses here in the country are stepping up their game to find new ways to win back the hearts of milk consumers with their products. Here's our Oh Soo-young with more.
우유를 대신할 수 있는 건 우유밖에 없습니다. 우유를 멈추지 마세요.
Milk used to be the healthy drink of choice for adults and kids alike for over a century. But now, that milk that so many consumed with great diligence is in trouble. Global demand for the drink has been free-falling over the past decade. And latest numbers show that Koreans are drinking less milk, with the country's consumption dropping to the lowest level in 13 years, despite the average hitting 38 kilograms per person a year in the past. This has led to the largest oversupply of milk in 12 years. Experts say some of the biggest reasons could be low fertility rates, an increase in other drink options, and high production costs of sterilised milk. But the milk industry is hoping to turn over a new leaf, coming up with new ideas to win back the hearts of former milk lovers. Aside from the good old chocolate and strawberry-flavoured milk, businesses are putting out milk that comes in flavours like honeydew, watermelon, cheese, and much more. Various milk-based or milk-derived products such as yogurt, cheese and dairy snacks also offer a light of hope for dairy producers, as they have seen a surge in sales in recent years. On top of that, Korea has resumed sterilised milk exports to China after hitting a snag on import regulations that halted shipments for 14 months. The Korean dairy industry is pinning high hopes on this resumption of outbound shipments to the neighbouring country, with expectations that it will help relieve the nation's record-high oversupply in milk. Oh Soo-young, Business Daily.
More real than reality? With technology advancing at tremendous speed, people just seem to want more. Better visuals, better sounds, and more realistic technology. And that's why virtual reality technology is seen as one of the most promising fields in the future. A reason why the industry is growing here in Korea too. And to lead us into this virtual world, we're now joined by our Kwon So-ah today. Hello, So-ah.
Hi, Ji-yoon.
All right, so the term virtual reality sounds really futuristic. I mean, is this technology relatively new?
Well, Ji-yoon, you'd be surprised to hear that actually virtual reality technology has been with us for quite some time, since the early history of technology dating back to the 1920s. Some say 1950s, 60s, but the widely known pioneer of virtual reality was computer artist Myron Kruger with his book Artificial Reality. That describes the concept of how people feel their presence in the virtual world. Now, VR has been used for military purposes and simulation in the space industry for years, and these days it's most popular in the gaming industry.
And also when watching movies, right?
Exactly, but it's a little different from the 4D theater experiences that we know of, where everyone hears and sees and feels the same, right? But in today's VR technology lets the individuals have a personal experience. So let's find out by watching this.
Ever wanted to try out extreme sports like paragliding, but just didn't have the courage, time, or physical condition? No problem. Virtual reality technology lets you experience parts of the real world wherever you are, whenever you want.
This 360-degree camera equipment makes it possible to capture the paragliding process from all directions. I'm actually afraid of heights, so it's perfect for people like me to enjoy the sports through virtual content.
Depending on the purpose, cameras can vary from DSLRs to GoPros, as well as the number of devices needed for a shoot, which can be easily plugged into special holders. What does the final VR content look like? It's difficult to describe, as this immersive multimedia product needs to be experienced at a personal level.
Virtual reality technology goes beyond the usual 3D experience. Just put on this head-mounted display, tilt, or turn your head and find yourself in an unrealistically real environment.
In order to see your K-pop stars up close, be in the middle of a golf tournament, or at the scene of a TV drama, producers need to go through an intricate process called video stitching, as the contours of footage filmed in several angles need to be converged seamlessly to make things as natural as possible. This means from cameras to devices and specialists, there are immense possibilities to contribute to this flourishing market.
One of the most optimistic view forecasts that global market size of the virtual reality in 5 years will be $150 billion, which is huge, enormous size. And if we prospect to the economic size of the Korea compared to the global economy, it could be easily few billion or a dozen billion US dollars, the market size it could be.
While the potential is clearly there, researchers say what's now important is popularizing the technology.
Considering that if I have to wear very bulky head-mount displays, then I will not use it in everyday life. Maybe I will use it in my bedroom to watch the interesting movie, but that's all. Play the game, that's all. So to approach to the general public is how is the main problem or main issue is how we can provide the easily usable devices, like glasses. If glass is fancy enough, very light enough, and easily applicable, then we can easily use the glasses. Smartphone and these glasses or these devices will be connected all together.
But that could take some time, as experts say that while on the academic level, Korea's VR technology is advanced, the industry has not matured enough. That's why distribution of VR content has also become a hurdle for many startups that have jumped into the market.
Since the technology is still evolving, we're still at an experimental stage when it comes to filming and editing the video. Also, while virtual reality can be seen in 4K resolution, display quality needs to be enhanced to provide an even more realistic experience.
Korea is waiting for small companies to evolve into global VR leaders in the coming years, especially as the technology is expected by many industry watchers to become one of the most influential parts of our daily lives in the future.
All right, so I see that you brought in some devices that make all this virtual reality possible. Can you tell us how it works?
Sure, Jiyeon. Well, this is the HMD that we saw earlier, and it's very simple. I already put my smartphone in here, but all we have to do is put the smartphone in here like this. And before that, we have to play a video that has been filmed with a 360-degree technology before, right?
Okay.
And then we close this.
All right. And I see that you have one prepared for me with my phone in it.
Right. So let's take a look at this.
Okay. Oh, wow. I am at an amusement park and I can see everything around it. Yes, and I'm on the roller coaster. Wow.
So how do you like it?
Well, it feels really real, as if I'm actually there, and I can see the entire amusement park and I'm on the roller coaster. So I think this is pretty neat from what I see.
Quite an experience.
Yes, yes. All right, well, what are these cardboard contraptions that I see in front of me here?
Well, this tune is actually a simpler version of those headsets and that I got from the company we saw earlier in the report. And they work in the same way as HMDs work, but they are come in different sizes and for different smartphones. Here we can see the different sizes for any smartphones, Samsung smartphones or iPhones. And these actually, Google was the first one to develop these kinds and named them Google Cardboard.
All right, well, with all these ideas coming out, it looks like the single technology actually opens up the horizon for so many related industries, right?
Exactly, and also for small companies, big ones. And speaking of big companies, Korea's tech giant Samsung actually has its own HMD too. And now, in terms of contents, actually, we expect a tremendous expansion because not only games, but we could have VR technology could be used in education and also in the medical field. For example, for people who want to cure their phobias, if you're afraid of heights, you could also put yourself into the virtual reality and I don't know, jump off a cliff or something like that. And there's also actually one market that companies don't really want to mention, but the pornography market.
Okay, I will not ask you to tell me the details of how that's going to go.
We don't need any explanation for that.
But I can definitely see that this is going to be a big money maker in the future and a promising industry for Korea as well.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in today, Soa.
Always a pleasure.
And that wraps it up for today. But we'll be back tomorrow with more business news that matters to you. As always, thanks so much for watching and goodbye.